Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know the structure of the readings for the Sundays of Lent? In order to understand Lent and how it's structured, it's important to look at the lectionary readings and how they were selected. Under the Vatican II revision of the lectionary, we have two what they call festal seasons. These are the seasons of Advent, Christmas, Epiphany, and the season of Lent, Easter, Pentecost, enveloped by the longer season of ordinary time. Lent is usually the typical 40-day preparation for the Easter season, and it's the entire Easter season is the core, the heart, if you want, of the lectionary year, with the Triduum being the core of that very heart. The Triduum being Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and the Easter Vigil, leading to the Easter celebration. So that during Lent, the readings, the way the lectionary structured the readings were according to a different format, let's put it that way, a different format than typically the Sunday readings were structured. Typically, the first and the third reading are always connected. But when it came to the readings for Lent, they wanted to push some key themes. And so what happened was, in the structure, they actually structured the 6 Sundays of Lent around several groupings and around several themes. So that the readings for the Sundays are, first of all, the first and the third reading, the Gospel reading, the first reading from the Old Testament, the Gospel reading, are chosen thematically. There are specific themes that are run through those readings. And then the second reading and the Psalms are chosen to correspond to the Gospel readings with those particular themes. So what were the groupings? Well, the first and the second Sunday formed one group, and the readings are always the same on those Sundays. The first reading will always be the temptations of Jesus in the desert in the first Sunday, and the second Sunday will always be the transfiguration of Jesus on the mountain. And the accounts will be from each of the Gospels associated with a particular lectionary year, whether it be lectionary year A associated with Matthew, B associated with Mark, and C associated with Luke. Now, the third, fourth, and fifth Sunday formed another grouping, and these were the themes for these Sundays were selected according to the lectionary year, the particular lectionary year. So in lectionary year A, the themes for the third, fourth, and fifth Sunday Gospels focused on baptismal focus, a very strong baptismal focus. In year B, it focused around the notion of the Paschal mystery. This is the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus and celebrating that. And in year C, it was structured around the themes of penance, conversion, forgiveness, and repentance. The sixth Sunday, of course, in Lent is always associated with the Palm Sunday of the Lord's Passion. And here what happens is that every lectionary year, A, B, and C, we read the Passion narrative from each of the particular Gospels associated with that lectionary year. And that's the sixth Sunday of Lent, which is the beginning of Holy Week. All right. And then finally, the Old Testament readings. Now, the Old Testament readings follow an interesting thematic structure that focus itself around the entire salvation history. So that the first Sunday, the Old Testament reading will always be something from what they call the primeval era, the era before Abraham. This would be the area of the creation, the Noah story, Adam and Eve, and so on. The second Sunday, the Old Testament reading focuses on the promises that God made to Abraham, and so readings from those times with regards to Abraham. The third Sunday is focused on key stories from the life of Moses. The fourth Sunday always focuses on the key events that surfaced in salvation history from the time of the Exodus to the time of the Babylonian exile for the Jews. And finally, the fifth Sunday is always focused on a prophetic account, if you want, concerning the end time fulfillment, how things will come to a fulfillment at the end times. And so the Old Testament readings for the 5 Sundays of Lent are thematically structured to give a kind of a thumbnail sketch, if you want, of the entire salvation history that is recounted in the Old Testament. So I hope that this in some way has actually helped you to see how the lectionary is structured during the season of Lent, and hopefully it will help you enter into the season of Lent with a much more informed knowledge of the readings. And I hope that you would take time as you celebrate the Sundays of Lent, you would take time to prepare the readings ahead of time so you could be more fully nourished during the actual celebration of our Sunday readings during Lent. So I hope this has helped to inform you a bit more about the season of Lent, and I hope you will return again to more Do You Know series questions to become more informed about our liturgy and our readings and how we can enter more fully into them. Thank you.